All right. So,
All right.
got my water here.
I do also have water.
Ugh. Anyway, so I have a pretty sore throat right now. Welcome to episode
two technically, because you started with 0 like a crazy person.
Yeah, fuck it. So, welcome to episode 2, where this is going to start something I came up with last week, which we will announce in a minute. But so I have a pretty sore throat right now. We'll see what happens with all this.
I'm telling you, man, get you some of that LaCroix. So good.
Fucking LaCroix is the nastiest shit ever.
So bad. It's so bad.
I don't understand how people drink it.
I tried it for the first time
flavor.
when I was up there hanging with you guys. And it tasted like seltzer water with only a tablespoon of flavor in the entire vat. Like,
it's like somebody took orange peel and put it in like lukewarm water and then put it through a coffee filter and then just rub their ass on it. Like I don't understand how anybody drinks this.
Like, you drink some water and it's like, okay, I'm tasting liquid. LaCroix tastes like there should be liquid there, and it is liquid, but it doesn't feel like it feels like the lightest of water or some shit. I just don't get it.
I have heard people tell me that they use it as a mixer with things.
I can see that.
Have it like a mild flavor with something.
I can see that.
And a lot of people I know that have cut soda, which is the reason I bought it, was to originally cut soda. They'll kind of mix it with soda, go like half and half, so you're basically diluting the soda, which I tried. So the LaCroix that we have at the house, which I've drank one and Zach had one, and those cases have been sitting here for like 5 months, is the orange citrus one. And I tried mixing that with orange soda, thinking maybe it'll be like a diluted orange soda, and I can use this to help get rid of the headaches I would get. And no, it's fucking god awful. It wasted perfectly good orange soda. So anyway, that's enough of LaCroix. So this is going to be the first episode where we are going to talk about a movie, but I came up with an idea to move my mouse away from the record button before I accidentally click it and stop recording myself. Came up with an idea last week where instead of us just watching random movies, we're basically going to go back and forth selecting a film, but the catch is that the person picking the film has to pick an actor or actress from whatever we've watched previously and select a film from their film catalog.
And it's worked, because
it did, because we started with Into the Spider-Verse,
which had Nick Cage, and then Vampire's Kiss, and now what's going to be our movie? Or you want to announce that, or is it in the description or like title? And I'm just bullshitting right now.
Well, kind of like what I did with Vampire's Kiss, I don't think I'm going to use the direct name of the movie in the title. I'm going to kind of allude to it. So. Anyway, I mean, you'll see it in the background for it. It's The Running Man.
The Running Man.
1987, I think, is when this came out.
87.
So anyway, we will talk about the movie in a little bit. We're gonna catch up a little bit because it's been a couple days since Zach and I have talked, and we figured give you a little bit of foreplay before we get to the good stuff. So anyway, what are you up to today, Zach? How's your Saturday going?
I finished watching The Running Man right before we started recording this because I totally didn't procrastinate.
I have seen that movie so many times.
It's been a minute. It's been a minute for me.
I could have gotten away with not watching it and been able to recall everything perfectly. But I also too finished watching it this morning. I went through it again. Because I was like, I was going to watch it last night, and I got home, and I just fucking knocked out. Because you get old, and shit happens, so.
Let's see. I just finished going through... Because I think we talked about Resident Evil Remake in the last one, right?
Yeah, if I recall correctly, we are going to talk about video games, but I distinctly remember you saying you wanted to suck Cobra Kai's dick in this episode.
Okay. Dude, I'll fucking get on my knees and suck Cobra Kai's dick, because that's a great fucking show.
Can you hold off on filleting
I'll try,
a TV
man.
series?
I will keep my lips moistened in anticipation.
So, we did talk about Resident Evil a little bit. I still haven't played. I played the demo. I'm not really in that much of a rush to play it. Everyone else is like, oh my god, Resident Evil 2 Remake is the best thing ever. It's a new gold standard for remakes. And I'm like, that's cool. I have like 90 other fucking games to play on this fucking system.
I can agree with that statement. It's a pretty high bar for remakes.
Yeah. It played great in the demo, and I am looking forward to playing it when I do. But
Um,
something about Resident Evil, like over the years, just I haven't had as much of a drive to play them when they first come out. I still need to play the what the fuck is it called? The Biohazard. It's fucking Japanese name, but the reboot, I guess, is what it's called. The first person
Resident Evil 7 Biohazard, which I might be wrong, but I'm pretty sure the Japanese title is Biohazard 7 Resident Evil. I might be wrong on that.
Know. It's
but
the one with the creepy house that has VR built into it.
It's not a reboot. It's just a it's who fucking knows. Who really fucking knows anymore? I don't.
Well, you played it, so I'd hope you would.
Dude, the Resident Evil storyline is so convoluted and stupid. Like, just play the games and enjoy the ride.
Kingdom Hearts. We're going to talk about that.
Do I?
It's not as bad as Kingdom Hearts. We're going to talk about that.
But
I've had the Resident Evil. I'm just going to call it the reboot because that's what I think of it as.
It probably is. I really couldn't tell you for sure.
I've had that since I got my PlayStation. Like, John gave me a copy of it along with Final Fantasy 15. They've been installed on this hard drive since I've had this thing. I haven't touched them just because every time I start a game on this system, like 2 other things fucking come out that I want to play. Yep. It is both great and terrible at the same time for me trying to actually get anything done. But yeah, I definitely want to play the Resident Evil remake at some point. I've heard nothing but good things. I also need to play Ace Combat, but
yeah, I want to play that too. Like, I've heard really good things.
I briefly mentioned. Go on.
Oh, I just said I heard good things about Ace Combat 7, and the PS4 version also comes with like a remaster of 5.
Yeah,
so that
it is a straight port.
Is it a port?
There's nothing remastered at all. Like, it is PS2 graphics all the way.
That's not so bad. PS2 didn't have such.
But it is a port of what I consider to be the best Ace Combat ever, which is Unsung War.
But yeah, I want to play that. Other than that, I did play through Resident Evil 0 for the hell of it.
Yeah, I saw you playing that when you were doing D&D.
Man, that's a good ass game. It's like the only classic Resident Evil, like with the tank controls and everything, that I've ever played and like beaten. But
yeah,
but like the HD version has analog controls, and in like, man, you give a Resident Evil game analog controls and not tank controls, and it's completely playable, in my opinion.
It's night and day.
It's really night and day. It's like, okay, I can see why people like these games now, as long as I have analog controls, it's great. But fuck tank controls, I'd be like, I'm not playing this bullshit. So yeah. That's a great game, though. I had a lot of fun playing through it.
I haven't really had a lot of time to play anything. This week has been hell. Monday and Tuesday were like 10 to 11 hour work days. And with my commute, I was gone for like 15 hours altogether.
Oof.
Then Wednesday, we had nobody at work. It was me, 3 managers, and a part-timer who just, don't get me started on them. Thursday was a pretty normal day, and then Friday is my murder day because I go pick up Junin. So, the first thing I was able to play was I played some more Battlefield, the new part of their Tides of War Battle Pass thing came out, so I've been working on that, and played some more Kingdom Hearts.
Oh,
which
had you started that before?
Ooh.
3?
Yeah, I got 3 when it came out. I'm like 9 hours into it.
I don't think it had come out when we were with the last one of these that we did. So like, how has that been?
Oh, it did. We just didn't talk about it.
Okay. I don't. But how has that been? Because keeping in mind, I've never played a Kingdom Hearts.
Here's the thing with Kingdom Hearts, right? So I am probably the worst kind of Kingdom Hearts fan because
I don't know.
I only played the first one, but I loved the first one when I got it. Like, the first Kingdom Hearts has a really, really special place with me because, so when the first one came out, I remember getting it because it was right around Christmas, and my mom never had a ton of money. Like, I always joke about it, but like, my Christmas was tax return season. I didn't get stuff in December. My mom got her credit for me and my sister, and we would go to the mall and she'd buy us whatever the fuck we wanted in February. So my Christmas was in February. That's when I got my video games. And when Kingdom Hearts came out, I don't know where the fuck she got the money, But that Christmas in particular, maybe she was selling drugs.
Maybe.
I don't know. But that Christmas in particular, like, she got us not a ton of stuff, but like it was the best December Christmas I'd ever had with her. And then Christmas Eve, she came to me and my sister and was like, you guys can get one more gift and I'll give it to you right now. And I had been reading about Kingdom Hearts back in fucking EGM and GamePro, because that's what you did back in the day when you didn't deal with the internet bullshit. And I remember reading about Kingdom Hearts, and I got that, and I played the ever-living fuck out of that first game. Like, because, you know, back in the day when you're a kid, like, parents get you games like that. Well, it's not that far back in the day, but the first Kingdom Hearts came out a long time ago, comparatively. Like, you got a game, you played the shit out of it.
2003?
It was a long time ago, because, well, I'll get to that point. Something I was going to mention was that Kingdom Hearts 2, which was the last big console Kingdom Hearts release, came out 3 years before Junin was even born. So, like, I got that Kingdom Hearts game, and that like I said, has a special spot for me just because I associate it with, like, Christmas and my mom, and I played the shit out of that game. Like, the gummy ship stuff, I love. I would pay $60 for just a gummy ship simulator game, but I bought 1, played the hell out of that, and then when 2 came out, I bought that at launch, and I
hated it, right? Because it made you
fucking
play as
hate Kingdom Hearts 2.
Roxas, is that his name that you hated?
Yeah, so you start in Twilight Town, and admittedly, from what I've read, because like I said, I'm the worst kind of Kingdom Hearts fan, I never played another Kingdom Hearts after 2. I didn't even finish 2, and right before 3 came out, I went online, I watched a YouTube video, it was like 40 minutes long, that summarized the whole series.
Was it Barry's video?
And, no, it wasn't. It was. I just searched for like Kingdom Hearts recap.
You gotta watch Barry's
this dude
video.
Came up.
It fucking perfect.
But this dude like put the story out there pretty well, and by the end of it, I didn't understand a goddamn thing he was talking about. Like,
yeah, no,
the story is an incomprehensible mess.
It absolutely is.
It is. Kingdom Hearts for me is very much a situation of gameplay being a ton of fun, and the story just being a garbage fire.
I don't know if they had like went from 1 and 2 and then just like not made all these in between and games that just like retcon shit for the sake of having another game release to hold people off till 3, 20 years later. I think it wouldn't be so bad, but they just kept making like Birth by Sleep and 1/9000,
Dream Drop Distance,
like all these bullshit. A phone game that probably has some canon storyline, like if they had gone through and just did 1 and 2 and then eventually 3, I think it would have been fine. But no, they put too much spice in that soup pot.
Too many cooks, if you will.
Yes.
By the way, I had the joy of introducing my manager, Janae, to Too Many Cooks for the first time. That was a pleasure watching somebody watch that who had never been initiated to it.
I've never seen it either. I don't know
what the fuck?
Nope.
You've never seen Too Many Cooks?
I haven't had cable in years, so like I've never been able to like just catch it.
YouTube, motherfucker, YouTube.
Too busy watching Let's Plays and conspiracy videos.
So Zach is gonna watch Too Many Cooks after we're done, and we are gonna talk about that immediately.
All right, that's
episode.
Fair. We'll see. We'll see.
So getting back to Kingdom Hearts. So I picked up 3. I picked up 3 for one reason only. There's a fucking Tangled world in it. That's it. I paid $60 so I could walk around in the Tangled world. There's also Toy Story and Big Hero 6, and I love those, and Wreck-It Ralph. I love all those series, but I fucking love Tangled so much you don't even know.
What about Frozen?
I don't give a fuck.
But
anyway,
Josh, you gotta let it go.
So here's my problem with 3. First of all, 3 is a very pretty game. That's not a problem. I should have worded that better. 3 is a very pretty game. It looks nice. It looks nice for a Kingdom Hearts game. Like graphically, it's not Red Dead Redemption, but it still looks
shade for a Kingdom Hearts.
It looks very good.
Pushes up classes.
There's a ton of shit to do in this game. Just this morning, I unlocked the cooking mini game in it, and that's a lot of fun. It's also kind of cute because the whole story behind it is fucking Scrooge McDuck buys a restaurant in Twilight Town and hires the rat from Ratatouille to run it.
Nice.
And you collect cooking ingredients in every world you go to, and then you go back and you can make different recipes with the controller. It's like Cooking Mama. And that was kind of neat. My big problem with Kingdom Hearts 3, and this is something I've read on quite a few reviews, and I've seen a lot of people I know that have played the game mention, this series does not age well with the people that played it. And this is what happens when you have a game that comes out so long after its predecessor, where the dialogue is cringy. It's super cringy. Like, it's like it was written for me 13 years ago, where I'd overlook it. I'd be like, okay, I get it. There's like their hearts, and they're heartless, and they're nobodies, and all this other stuff. First of all, I wouldn't go on.
No, so it's something that didn't age with its audience, essentially, because that came out in 2002. By the way, I looked up. That's when the first one came out.
Like I want you to go watch a cutscene from Kingdom Hearts, and I want you to watch this without like pulling back a little bit and going, who wrote this shit? Was it like a 5-year-old? Because the characters' interactions with each other and their responses to things are so just, I don't even know the word to describe it. They act like little kids, but they've noticeably gotten older in the series. It's really weird dialogue to character reaction, and it's almost like a multi-million-dollar AAA title was designed for 6 and 7-year-olds to play. But with the gameplay mechanics of something that an older person would appreciate. Because that's a good lead up into another problem I have with Kingdom Hearts, is there's just too much fucking going on with the combat mechanics in this game.
They kind of muddied it quite a bit. Tried to do too much at once.
In one of the previous games, at least is what I read, they introduced something called the flow motion system, where you could use parts of the environment to kind of swing around on and do like combos with the Keyblade, which is really cool. But when you combine that with the standard attacks with the Keyblades, with the magic that goes on, and now there's a whole other system where if you melee something enough times, you unlock like a melee finisher. If you use magic enough, you get a magic finisher. If you use a certain type of Keyblade, you get a certain type of Keyblade finisher. And there's so many things you can get that they quite literally stack up in the command queue in this game. So you're just pressing triangle to spam all these finisher techniques. And then on top of that, the Disney fan in me loves this. You have what are called attraction attacks, where they take rides from Disney World and Disneyland and make them like summons in the game to fight with. So you have like the Cali River Rapids ride. I don't expect you to know it by name, but like the rides you can get in at water parks where like you all sit in the giant tube with the handles in the middle and it spins around and you go down so that's what Cali River Rapids is. You get in it, and in the game it's really neat. So you control it with your analog, and it creates a water path behind you, and anything that hits is damaged. And then when you finish the attack, it like slams the boat in the ground and does like a massive water attack. These are really cool, but they're designed for open world games. This would work great in Zelda. It doesn't work great in a game like Kingdom Hearts, where you're always fighting in confined spaces. It's hard to even see enemies through half of these attacks. So I'm really torn on Kingdom Hearts right now. I appreciate it as a Disney fan. I mean, hell, part of my channel is dedicated to Disney stuff. I really like that. I really like the combat fluidity when you're just doing melee attacks and normal magic attacks. But when you put all this other shit on top of it, oh my god, it's so fucking much to deal with. And then the final complaint I have is it is very much a Japanese RPG, and I haven't played one of these in a long time, where you're getting like 5 minutes of combat and then 30 minutes of exposition from characters.
Getting that exposition dump truck.
That's pretty much it. I'm nowhere near done to completing Kingdom Hearts, so I don't know like if it's gonna pick up at all for me, but like I'm watching all these people fawn all over it, and I can't help but think that it's just nostalgia glasses for them. Which
probably is 100%. Yeah.
Keep in mind, this is coming from the guy that just restarted a YouTube channel based solely around nostalgia.
Dude, that's what the entertainment industry runs on right now. It's fine. Don't worry your pretty little head about it.
But anyway, that's my thoughts on Kingdom Hearts 3. Other than that, I played Apex Legends. I downloaded that.
I haven't downloaded it. I haven't tried it.
You know what? I'm gonna say it. It's fucking fun.
I've been
they got
hearing
it right.
good things. I've been hearing legitimate good things about it.
It's ugly. It's a very ugly game. Let's clarify that right now. It does not look pretty, but the ping mechanic in the game is fucking genius, and I guarantee you Fortnite's gonna copy that shit. Like, you're gonna see that in every battle royale in the next, like, 2 months.
So the real question is, Josh, is this a Fortnite killer?
No, not at all.
All right.
I think it may be able to coexist alongside of it if they can. I talk about this a lot,
If
but
EA doesn't
it's
stick
really
its cock in it too hard.
Epic has kind of set the benchmark for community or interaction with video games because of Fortnite. Like, you can bitch about Fortnite all you want. For Epic to listen to their community and update that game as frequently and with as many requests as people put out for it really is amazing when you look at the fact that it has 100 million players.
Right.
So my benchmark for any other battle royale coming out, or at this point, even any other multiplayer, is how well a company can listen to its community and adapt to changes properly. Cough, cough, Bethesda. Cough, cough. But it's fun. It's my major problem with Apex Legends is it clearly sells itself on the Titanfall formula, minus the Titans, which I get. You're not a pilot in this game, so you're not gonna have a Titan. And you don't have the wall running, which sucks.
Oh, really? I didn't. I knew there was no Titans, but I was like, well, I mean, if there's at least wall running and like all that mobility you get, then
you're
that'd
not
be
a pilot.
good. Oh, man.
Here's the thing: you still have mobility. Like, it's not really something I can describe to someone else that's played Titanfall. You're not as mobile as a pilot. Like, pilots have the fucking jump jets on their back, and the Titans, they are going to be able to run across whole maps. And I said this before, Titanfall is probably my favorite multiplayer experience of this current generation.
It's the last multiplayer shooter that I think I've had genuine, absolute fun in. For, like, I mean, I enjoyed fucking what was it? Call of Duty 4, Black Ops 4 or whatever. I had
9bang.
Yes, 9bang. I had fun playing that with like with you and everything, but like every once in a while I'll still boot up Titanfall 2 and play a few matches of that, and that's game's been out for 3 years or so now.
I like to point out that Titanfall 2 is currently $4.50.
It goes on sale
store for anybody listening to this with an Xbox, and the single player story alone is worth $60.
Dude, it goes on sale on the PS4 at least once a month for like $3 or $4.
We're gonna get back to Apex Legends, but I feel the need to suck Titanfall's dick real quick with
Please,
this.
it's so good.
If you want to talk about the biggest jump in quality in video game history, for me, I would go from the first Titanfall single player, air quote single player, to Titanfall 2's single player. Because in the first game, for those of you that didn't play it, their whole idea of single player was you only played multiplayer, but they had like audio clips in the beginning of the map and things you could find that would kind of allude to there being a story there. Whereas with Titanfall 2, they gave you what might be the best first-person shooter campaign I've ever played. And it's easily the best mission I've ever played, which is Affecting Cause, the fucking time rewind one. Like, that campaign is so good.
It really
is. I will never forgive EA for putting Titanfall 2 up against Battlefield 1. And somebody pointed this out, and it's fucking hilarious. EA also let them release Apex Legends up against Anthem coming out.
Yep.
So I don't know what it is with EA telling Respawn to be like, hey, release those Titanfall games right before other AAA titles launch. But Apex Legends seems to be doing well. I saw that they have like 10 million unique players already within 72 hours.
That's cool. I mean, we'll have to party up and give it a shot pretty soon, because I've been really just kind of waiting to play it with you or somebody else, because fucking battle royale games by myself, I just don't have very much fun with it.
I played one round earlier and I made it into the top 9. You can't solo in this game. You're forced into parties of 3.
Oh, randos, no.
So one thing I'm not super keen on right now is So all of the characters in this game have unique abilities.
Yeah,
it's like if you
it's,
took the characters from Nine Bang, and by the way, we refer to Black Ops as Nine Bang.
Right.
If you took all the characters from that and put it into a battle royale game, and it makes for an interesting crowd dynamic.
It's a hero shooter royale then.
Yes, but here's my problem with this. You can only have one of each person on your squad,
Mm-hmm.
and instead of making it like, you remember League of Legends, how it was a free-for-all to pick your character in the beginning,
Yeah.
and if you got that character, you got it?
Yeah.
With this, it's randomized, and it's one person at a time.
What?
So if there's a character you really want to play, you better hope you're not last, or you better hope if you're last, somebody else doesn't pick it.
Wow.
So that kind of sucks, but it also forces you to use multiple characters.
Right. Yeah.
Also, just to make this even weirder, you have what's called a jump master in this game. So you cannot individually control your jump in this game. One person you can ping spots to land, but one person controls the movement of all three people until you hit the ground or go past a certain point.
So you still there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Oh, okay. So you abruptly cut out on my side. Okay, so let me get this straight.
Oh.
When you jump out of the jump master, as in like jumping out of the helicopter or whatever the fuck it is in this one,
You don't even, you're called a jump master, but you literally start by just free falling.
so
You don't even jump out of anything.
one
You're a fall
person
master.
decides where the entire group of three. You said three was for a team.
Yeah. And you can ping where you want to go. Like, you can
Yes,
set locations.
but that's more of just a suggestion to whoever is controlling it in the first
Yeah.
place. Huh. I guess I can kind of see how that's good because it keeps an entire team from just going off on their own and trying to rampo
Now,
through it.
I do think after a certain point in the fall, you can break off, because what happened was I was controlling the three of us, and then after a point, one of our guys just disappeared and went off on his own. That guy was fucking like 6 years old. Like, he dropped immediately, and then over the headset, all I hear is, "Can you revive me?" No, fuck you. Learn the hard way, kid. Don't go off on your own.
healing.
But yeah, there's a lot of interesting stuff with this, and
I'll
I'm
give it a
curious
shot.
to see where Respawn's going to go with it. My passion for Battle Royale faded very quickly after our Fortnite kind of thing.
Yeah. Like I said, Fortnite got us through the drought, the game drought last year, and it served its purpose, and I had a good time with it. But I haven't played it in months since then.
Now,
so.
that is a good segue into a story I want to tell.
Oh, yeah, your Fortnite story.
I played Fortnite for the first time since the last time we did this today.
Probably like
Junin has been
August.
bugging me to play Fortnite with him for months, and I just
don't
call me a
care.
terrible father. I just didn't care.
I just
didn't want
don't
to.
love him. I just call me a terrible. I just don't love my son.
So they've done a lot to the game since we last
Oh, I
played it.
bet.
That's an understatement.
They updated it frequently throughout the year when we were playing it, so I bet a whole lot has changed.
Yeah, so one of the big things is now you have full cross-platform play. So he plays on the Switch, I can play with him on the PlayStation 4.
Good.
And it's seamless. It's perfect.
Good, it better
They also
be.
added account merging a few days ago, which is really cool. So if people who had multiple accounts on multiple systems, you can fold them into one system now.
That's awesome. With the amount of money
so-
Epic is making, I would hope they implement
Billions.
these things. Yeah, I think they can afford it.
So I played with him today, and I could not remember the fucking controls for this game at all. So they got rid of my beloved 50v50, but
Oh.
they've added a bunch of other modes, including one that I actually want you to play with me.
Okay.
It is Team Deathmatch with respawning.
Oh.
You keep your equipment when you die. It's fucking great. Like, I was just murking the shit out of people in this. So we played this, right? And he's explaining it to me, and I'm running around trying to find weapons and shit. I can't figure out what I'm doing. So we get into the circle. I get up, pull out my gun. I wind up with like 16 kills. I was number one in the thing. Juden's like, "How did you outscore me?" I feel like trash. Like, it's fucking hilarious to hear him sit here and like use this terminology for fucking like Fortnite. I don't understand. Like, Junin, hey, come here for a minute. Stop playing my games that I pay for. Come here and make yourself useful.
Hey, Call of Duty crashed.
Come here. Call of Duty crash? I don't give a fuck. Come here. All right. What are all these fucking phrases you keep using with Fortnite? Like tryhards and all this shit?
What do you mean?
What are the phrases you keep saying?
Try to explain. Ask your subs that. They would know.
Just, I don't have subs.
You can click on
Oh,
the
like
button
5 of
and
them or something.
On Fury Box, this is a new one. Seriously, what are some of the phrases you use?
Okay, toxic means like.
I know what toxic means, but like you said, like tryhards and
Tryhard means like they're. It's basically like the TTV mean. And really sweaty.
the fuck does that mean?
Oh, this is going
you said
downhill.
you said TTV really sweaty. What the hell does that mean?
He answered your terminology question with more
It
terminology.
means really you just go like full on Super Saiyan, even if it's like a noob.
You're using terminology to describe terminology. Your scientists were so busy building the thing they didn't think to build it they should. Go back to your game. Anyway, so yeah, Fortnite. My drive to play it isn't even remotely as high as it was when we were really into it. But I will admit that it was fun going back in and trying that team deathmatch mode.
Cool. Yeah, I'd be willing to sit down and play it again with you.
Yeah,
I had fun with Fortnite.
bust out the shark and tomato head skins.
Yes. Of course.
So, I mean, that's a great way to promote your channel. You have a skin that is literally your mascot.
That is true.
I have mine.
So yeah,
I'll probably
other than
plug
that,
it
haven't really been playing anything. I started rewatching *Halt and Catch Fire* because I realized I never finished that.
That's a good show. I think I am midway through the maybe last year's season or something. It's on Netflix or something. I kind of just stalled out on it, but I'm fairly current with it.
Well, it's over.
Oh, did they actually finish it?
Yeah.
I wonder if I was on the last season then. I might have been.
It only has 4 seasons, I think.
Okay. Then, yeah, I probably... I should finish that off since I'm so close to the end. I like that show.
Yeah, I started rewatching it. I'm on the 2nd season, and then I realized Mari had never seen it, so I'm going to restart it again so I can go through it with her. But, yeah, *Halt and Catch Fire*. That's really it. I've just been working on the channel other than that. And work. Speaking of work, let's talk about your shit.
I don't even want to get into it. Fucking scummy ass lawyers who also own coffee shops. It's basically what that devolved. That could be an entire one-man show on its own. I don't even feel like getting into it.
Did you at least get your W-2 yet?
No, still not. No, I'm fucking... I don't know, man. I just don't know.
I telling you, man, you got to report his ass to the IRS in 5 days if you don't get it.
It's gonna have to come to that.
Yeah, fuck that dude. Don't let that guy get away with that shit.
It's fucking bullshit, man.
Yeah, I would love to sit here and ridicule your terrible job, but
it's a good job. It's just run by a fucking dumbass. Fucking shyster is what it is.
Maybe you should open a coffee shop.
Fuck that. I want to open a fucking comic shop is what I want. That's the...
What about a comic and a coffee shop?
Even better.
There you go. Nothing like getting a bunch of comic nerds hopped up on like high quality mocha.
Watch the fucking Lord of the Flies situation devolve. Speaking of... that's something I did since last we talked. I watched both Fire Festival documentaries.
I haven't watched either of those because I don't see the point.
They are both good. There's a Hulu one and a Netflix one. I personally like the Netflix one. They both have... Of course, they're about the same thing, but one focuses more on other things than the other. So, like, between the two documentaries, you get quite a good bit of information. It is...
Didn't the Hulu one actually get interviews with the guy that tried to do it?
Billy... What the fuck is his name? Billy McFarlane, I think?
I don't know.
Yeah, that dude... Oof, that guy is a con artist of, like, the highest magnitude. Holy shit.
Didn't he also try and come up with, like, a teen influencer credit card or something?
Yeah, it was this thing called Magnesis. It was like a steel...
I don't know. I remember reading about it on CNN when the Fire thing first happened.
It was like a steel credit card that when you used it, you were able to build up, like, points or some shit that gets you free dinners or to get to chill in this clubhouse and all this shit. And, like... God, like... Anyone even interested in the Fire Festival debacle of 2017 should watch either one of these documentaries because it is interesting. Holy shit. I really enjoyed those documentaries. And speaking of documentaries, I meant to tell you this. Josh, you love Glow on Netflix.
I do love Glow.
There is a documentary about the actual Glow on Netflix right now.
I know there is. It's been on there for a bit, actually.
I only noticed it like a couple days ago. I think Missy and I are going to hopefully watch it soon. Super interested in that.
I need to watch the second season.
It
I
is
haven't watched
very
that
good.
yet.
Other than
I imagine.
that, I worked on my video. I got it finished. I got it uploaded.
Yeah, you put your first new video out in like fucking a year and a
Year
half.
and a half, yeah, roughly. October.
Yeah,
of
what's the video one?
year before last? The Teen Titans cartoon from 2003, 6. The old Teen Titans cartoon, not Teen Titans Go. Yeah, it's just a video where I freaking rewatched all of it. Kind of did a little bit of an opinion piece on it.
How's it doing? Have you looked at any of the stats on it?
I have not recently. I guess I could real quick, but I don't. Let's see. Let me go take a look, just real quick. You'll probably get faster than I will.
Nah, I didn't type it right.
There I am. Let's see. It's like 15 views, so par.
It's not bad.
It's par with everything else I've made, except for that fucking Johnny Quest, the Real Adventures of Johnny Quest video I made a couple years ago, which is for some reason at like 6,000.
I just think that had to do with the Venture Brothers announcements.
I
really
have.
think you managed to luck off of that one there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I don't know.
If only you would have kept up with uploading after that.
Yeah. But it's a fun hobby. I see it as more of a hobby than anything.
Yeah, that's what's kept me interested in it. Like when I was so focused on numbers, it really pulled me out of wanting to keep doing it. So I've got the script done for my Disney Quest video, but I'm not going to upload that one first. I just started writing the script for the Advance Wars one today. And then I think I might try and do one on the Satellaview if I can get enough information on that one.
Okay.
But that's, I don't know. I've very much so been binge watching a lot of my old tech channels and a lot of the newer ones I've found.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of good stuff there. And I have the same concerns I did with Let's Plays where like I always worry about stepping on people's feet with stuff. Where once someone does a video on something, it's like, should I ever try and do a video on this?
I get that, because, like, I think, I don't know, when I see a video on a subject that I'm like, I was kind of willing to make a video on that, but then they made it, and they did a way better job than I was going to do, so I'll just pick something else.
Yeah, and it kind of sucks because when your channel is solely focused on stuff like that, you can almost guarantee that there are going to have been videos on like the history of Nintendo or the history of Sega.
Especially when you get into video games. 100%.
Yeah, and it's like, I mean, what am I really going to bring to the table other than my soothing voice that somebody else hasn't already done?
Yeah, I try.
So
I actively don't look into shit on like old cartoons and stuff. So, by the way, my YouTube channel is Single Cell Shark, one word. You can check it out. There's
like
my
how
plug.
You cut out.
Oh,
like you cut out at the minute you said your name. It was like a perfect censor for that.
But not on my side, since I'm sending you my audio, so it should be fine.
Just in case, his name is Single Cell Shark, and I really should add you to all of the uploads for the podcast.
Yeah, put me in the description, bitch.
I wonder if there's a way I can format it so for all the podcast uploads it'll do that. But anyway, that's not something we can really talk about here. Yeah, stepping on people's feet, who knows? I mean, with the video game stuff, it sucks because my favorite channels to watch are the video game history ones, like Video Game Historian, fucking Kelsey Lewin. I love her stuff. And they go into shit I never even heard of before.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm sitting here like, that's really cool. I can never do a video on this now.
Yep.
God damn it. It's really bad with the Disney stuff because the Disney theme park sphere is so small that there's always other people doing videos on like certain attractions or the history of like this Disney thing. Like there are tons of videos on the history of the Haunted Mansion, And you'll always have comments in there going, oh, Defunctland did that first, or, oh, fucking Offhand Disney already talked about this shit.
Yeah.
And I guess you just kind of have to grow sort of a thick skin to it and be like, all right, well, fuck it. You watched the video and you made it 5 seconds in, which means that counts toward monetization. So, I don't know.
Yeah. But. So, yeah. What is next on your little format, your loosely formed format for your podcasts?
Well, the loosely formed format is running along here, and by running along, I mean we're going to talk about the movie.
Okay.
The movie that we watched, which is The Running Man, and it's a pretty good movie.
It's a great movie. It is 1987.
1987.
3 years after
Arnold
I was
Schwarzenegger.
born.
Arnold Schwarzenegger, Maria Conchita Alonso, fucking Jim Brown's in this.
Oh, and
Jesse the Body Ventura,
and she was the hopscotch from
so,
Vampire's Kiss that you.
So
picked.
just so we can continue this, Alva in Vampire's Kiss was played by Maria Conchita Alonso, who was also in Running Man, which is what we're doing now.
Mm-hmm.
So, but my God, there are so many people in this movie. Like,
really are.
The bodyguard who was Killian's bodyguard, the giant, I think called him Sven. Well, his name is Sven Ole Thorsen, but in the movie, I think his name is Sven also. I'm pretty sure that's the name he uses for all the movies he's in. He was one of the best men at Arnold Schwarzenegger's wedding to Maria Shriver.
There you go.
Little fact there for you.
But should we do a little summary for it?
Yeah, we can do a summary for this. So I am a fan of almost any 80s action movie.
I am too.
It can be bad or good. This one is one of the good ones, in my opinion. And it stars Arnold Schwarzenegger, who plays a former soldier who was commanded to fire on innocent civilians in the town of Bakersfield. And it was a food riot. So premise before this takes place in the future of 2017, where government oppression has kept people down in their food riots. And man, that actually kind of sounds a little bit like 2017. This movie kind of hit the nail on the head. Actually, if you look at the intro clip for it, like that first paragraph, you're like, that really kind of sounds like right now. But
yeah.
So he's told to go in and clear these people out under any means necessary. And he's like, they're innocent women and children. I'm not going to fire on them. And he ends up getting removed from command, basically. And they edit the video to make it seem like he's the one that killed these people, when really it wasn't him. And he gets sent to prison for it, becomes known as the Butcher of Bakersfield.
Yeah, like a labor camp prison.
Yeah. So the movie really starts with him doing a prison break.
Yep. In what year, Josh? What year did this take place? Because I know. Do you know?
What year did The Running Man take place?
The main chunk of the movie takes place 2019.
Yeah, it's 2017 to 2019.
Yep. Oh, I saw that, I was like, oh no. How timely.
So it's him breaking out of a prison with these two guys named Weiss and Laughlin. And can we have a minute of silence for that dude's head that got blown off? Just real quick. Press F to pay respects. I'll press F. Wait, I'm not going to press F. It might do something.
Yeah, it'll break Audacity real hard. You want to delete everything? All right.
So anyway, breaks out of prison, finds out that there's this underground movement to overthrow the government, specifically a branch called ICS, which is responsible for like entertainment in the future, where people watch some weird shit.
Yep, everything is censored, music is censored. The
only things you can really watch are there's a show about a guy climbing a rope to get money, and there's like fucking pit bulls biting at him at the bottom of the rope. Obviously, The Running Man itself is a game show where criminals are sent into what are called different zones or quads, and they have to try and escape from these guys called the Runners, which are basically people that are sent in to hunt them down and kill them. That's a TV show. It's the most popular TV show in the future. So anyway, Arnold breaks out of prison with these two guys, finds their way to the underground, and he's going to see his brother. Like, he's going to help him get out of the country. So goes to his brother's apartment, finds out that his brother was taken away for, quote, re-education, which anytime someone's taking away for re-education, you know, he's dead.
Yeah.
He's dead.
He was educated to not be alive anymore. And he passed the test.
So this is where he runs into Maria Conchita Alonso's character. For some reason, I'm blanking on her name, and I just watched this movie. But anyway, so runs into her character and is going to use her to basically get out of the country, has to use her travel pass to escape. So they go to the airport. She alerts to the police that Ben Richards is there and all this stuff, and they capture him. And Killian, the guy who runs the Running Man, basically sets him up saying, look, you either go and do the Running Man TV show, or we're going to send Weiss and Laughlin. And he kidnapped them. It was like, we're going to send them in your place. So Arnold agrees to do it, gets sent on. Killian basically backstabs him and ends up sending him into the game with Weiss and Laughlin. And the whole movie is them trying to escape from the runners, while also occasionally cutting back to what's going on outside of the game. And halfway through, Killian ends up sending Maria Conchita Alonso's character down, and all this stuff happens. But it's very, very 80s. Like, it's full of like Arnold one-liners when he kills people, and
100%. And like it's one of the many 80s action movies that are supposed to take place in the future, where they're like, man, we'll never get past the 80s mentality. The future's going to be the 80s too. So the 2019 in this universe is still the 80s. Fucking,
it's all like permed hair, shoulder pads, neon everywhere,
fucking leg warmers, just all the things.
If there's one scene that really sells you on how 80s this movie is, it's the very beginning of the TV show when they have the dancers out there, and they're doing like it's sort of like a warm up to get the crowd into stuff, but they're wearing like the fucking like the 80s bikinis with like the crotch riding up a mile high.
Yep.
They've got like like you said, the arm warmers and the leg warmers. It's fucking glorious.
Mustaches as far as the eye can see.
Every man is rocking a Tom Selleck on some level.
So
many. So the short of this is he works his way through the game. They find out that there is the underground inside of the game itself. So like the Running Man itself is like multiple city blocks in size, and the underground resistance is hidden inside of there. So they find their way to the underground. Meanwhile, Killian starts getting worried because Arnold's been killing all the runners going after him.
All the fucking people going after the Running Men themselves.
One of my first interesting facts about this movie is the technology. Killian uses this video tracking technology to create a digital version of Arnold Schwarzenegger and make it look like he gets killed in the game. He basically uses like an 80s form of CGI to make it look like Jesse the Body Ventura came out of retirement as a runner, went into the ring with him, and threw Arnie onto a wall of spikes, and that's supposed to be the end of the game. So Killian lies to everyone, plays this video, Arnie's dead, when really he's not. He's in the underground, like with this resistance setting things up. So that technology, that digital face mat technology that was used, it was the first time in movie history something like that was used.
Huh. Interesting.
Yeah. So like digital replication for stuff like that.
And now we got deep fakes.
So the second time it was used was in Jurassic Park for 3 seconds of a shot of the boy's sister like coming out from water, basically. So anyway, Arnold gets to the underground. They wind up uploading all this like information. Like they upload the real footage from Bakersfield showing that Arnold was innocent and that the government's been lying, and they go through and there's all this stuff. And one of my favorite scenes in this movie is when they show the real footage of Arnold in the helicopter. And it never really occurred to me until I was older and I watched this movie. But the footage that they upload and show everybody is the exact same footage that we see as viewers of the movie.
So there's just like a camera right there, and all these strategic
places. There's a cameraman
places
in the helicopter.
Like there's even a camera like pointed up from the rungs of the helicopter, and all this shit is just like, oh, they just had those cameras everywhere, I guess.
It never occurred to me until like I was watching. I was just like, wait a minute, this doesn't look like secure. This looks like movie footage.
Yeah.
Like, man, the government's got their security game on point.
Fucking Sybil system, motherfucker.
So anyway, they go through. Arnold winds up like putting Killian in putting him in the little seat rocket thing and sending him into the game and killing him, and that's the end of the movie.
Mm-hmm.
That summarizes a lot of it.
Yep.
But my favorite thing, one of my favorite things about this movie, I have a ton of favorite things because I love this movie, is this movie's soundtrack is fucking amazing.
Yeah, it's really good.
Like, so this movie has a ton of movie talent inside of it. And this is one of the things I wanted to mention for like our hidden facts about the movie, where Harold Faltermeyer did the movie's score. So like the music in the background, that's all Harold Faltermeyer. And then the theme at the very end, Restless Heart, was written by John Parr, who's done a bunch of other 80s stuff. He did Nervous Nervous. He's most known for St. Elmo's Fire, which is one of my favorite 80s songs ever. And then Mick, the guy who was the old guy in charge of the underground or whatever.
Fleetwood.
Yeah, fucking Fleetwood Mac. And yeah, so his second in command, Stevie, the guy with the beret, that's Frank Zappa's son.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, that's Dweezil Zappa in that movie, and they named his character Stevie as a nod to Stevie Nicks from Fleetwood Mac. So there's a lot of stuff in this movie. I forget the guy, Fireball. The Fireball's played by Jim Brown, the famous NFL player. And when the announcer comes on, Killian calls him the all-time leading rusher, which is a nod to the fact in the NFL that was one of the records he held. You've got fucking I just said his name, god damn it. Jesse the Body Ventura in this, who was with Arnie and a bunch of other stuff.
Oh yeah, he was in Predator with him.
Yeah, this movie has a lot of like hidden stuff around it. It's the first movie I can ever recall there being a post-credit thing for. Which I don't know if you sat through the credits, did you?
You know what? I didn't. Because I was like, this movie was in the 80s, there are no post-credits.
I know, right? I learned this a few years ago. So it's not a post-credit scene, it's post-credit audio. And it's the announcer coming back on saying, "The Running Man has been brought to you by," and then he lists all this like government stuff, like Cadre Cola and all this other stuff. It's just a neat little thing for people that would have sat through and like listened to the music or whatever. But it's the first movie I'm consciously aware of that I remember seeing that had something in the post-credits.
Neat.
But I've saved my favorite interesting fact about this for last.
All right, let's have it.
So, the announcer in the game is also the voice of Squidward Tentacles from SpongeBob.
Really?
Yup. I think his name is Frank Hubbard. Hold on, let me look this up real quick. So, I'm gonna go look this up.
Oh, fucking Squidward. Oh my god. But yeah.
Roger Bumpus.
Thank God, because I have nothing to say.
Yeah.
I'm just like, motherfucker, what do you want me to say?
I just talk about anything. I don't give a fuck. Talk about Paige. But so I did not know this until I was looking up stuff about this film. Like a lot of these facts I'd already known. I knew that Fleetwood was in it, that Dweezil's son was in it, or Frank Zappa's son was in it. I knew about Jim Brown and all this other stuff, but I never knew about the fucking announcer, and I had to look it up because it was on the IMDb facts. I was like, "There's no fucking way that's right." Yup,
SpongeBob.
It's like, his credits are like The Running Man and SpongeBob. So, and then obviously the Killian, the guy who ran the show, was I forget his name, Dawson. Let's see.
Let me see. I just had this all pulled up too.
Yeah, I'm terrible. Richard Dawson.
Yes.
So yeah, Richard Dawson, famous for having run Family Feud. Like that man is game show
royalty.
Yeah, like game show royalty basically. And something I didn't know until I read about this was that
that was his first movie.
It was also his last movie. He died shortly after.
Oh shit, you're right.
So the way Killian treats the people that work for him in this, obviously he's an asshole. Apparently that's exactly the way he treated people on the game shows he worked.
Wow.
like people came out after this movie did who worked for him for like Family Feud, and I think he did like $10,000 pyramid or something. And they were just like, yeah, he was an asshole to us.
They're
too,
like,
so.
that motherfucker wasn't acting. He was just playing him. There was no character there. That was just how he is. That's great.
Yeah. Just, oh man, great movie. Great, like, soundtrack, story, acting. It all just comes together in this very nice cohesion of 1980s goodness.
Mm-hmm. Tail end of the 80s too.
Yeah. I think he did Commando before that. I don't know. Arnie's 80s slate, I always get mixed up.
I had a lot to choose from, let me tell you, for our next movie. But go on.
I know, like I was wondering if you were gonna go right to Arnie. But yeah, so like I think Commando was one of his first movies. Conan might have been his first movie, but
I feel
we can figure that out.
Yeah, I could probably look at the IMDb for that, but yeah,
I know Commando came out before Running Man.
Yeah, that was one of his first like big roles, I want to say.
Yeah, I love Commando.
Commando's great.
Yeah, another just small fact about this before we figure out what movie Zach picked for his was that the bodyguard we mentioned before, Sven Ole Thorsen, has had a role in nearly every movie that Arnold Schwarzenegger's made. Like even just down to extras. If you go back and if you look at like the IMDb and like click his name and look at his roles, he was in Conan, he was in Commando, he was in this, he was in Red Sonja, he was in fucking Twins. He was in Twins. Like, he's been in a lot of movies with him, and it's apparently because they're bodybuilding friends. So, you know, that's kind of a neat little side fact. Anyway, so Zach, what do you want to say about this movie that I haven't already said?
I mean, you hit pretty much everything on the head there, because it'd been like a minute since I had seen this movie, and I think in my mind I was getting it mixed up with all these other like sci-fi 80s. I think it was mixed up with fucking Demolition Man. It was mixed up with.
We're gonna fucking watch Demolition Man.
Total Recall.
I love that movie.
It was just
we're gonna watch that too because I love that movie.
It was all just kind of blended together, so I had to major
that like dystopian future.
Yeah, because there's the 80s love to. You think motherfucking Hunger Games brought dystopian? No, fuck you. 80s action movies brought the dystopian future to the forefront.
I mean, to be fair, 1984 brought dystopian.
Shut up.
Before they did.
Shut up.
Also, want to talk about the Hunger Games? Running Man is 1980s Hunger Games.
Yeah.
There you go.
Pretty much, yeah. I don't think we mentioned this. Running Man is based off a novella by Richard Bachman, better known as Stephen King.
Yeah, how did I fucking forget? I this whole time, like when I told you we were gonna watch this, I was like, we're totally gonna wind up talking about the book, and here I am completely fucking forgetting to mention it.
Yeah. It was written by Stephen King when he was writing under the pen name as Richard Bachman, which is a great read. It's been a minute since I've actually read that novella. But
they are
completely different, though, right?
There is. You want to talk about night and day? There are almost no comparisons in this other than the fact that it's a sadistic game show.
Yeah.
That's it.
Pretty much.
So in the book, real quick side note, when the guy, I forgot his name, I think it's like Joe Barber or whatever, bought the rights to make this movie, he had no idea that the book was written by Stephen King.
Yeah, I read that too.
He just bought it because it was interesting. So the premise for the book is, I don't remember if it's the same character's name, but this guy is trying to get like medicine for his wife or something because she's dying, and you have to make it across the country in a certain amount of time while you're being chased by like people who want to kill you. And like it's been years since I've read this. You have to make it across the entire country or something while these people are hunting you down, and the whole story follows this guy while he's just getting fucked over by like everyone. Like people are ratting him out and saying where he is because if you help him get caught, you get money. So you find out toward the end that the guy running the game show, I'm just gonna call him Killian because I can't remember the guy's name.
I don't either.
That the Killian of the book has already he's already killed his wife, and in the book, the Arnold Schwarzenegger of the book basically hijacks a plane, and the last scene in the book is him crashing it into the office level
I remember that
of the game show. Yeah. That's the last scene in the book is like, it's described, I think, as the guy running the game show looking out the window as the plane's crashing into it. So, yeah, it's completely different. And the guy, that's the main character in the book is sort of like a scrawny underweight guy, because I remember Stephen King doing an interview about The Running Man saying like Arnold Schwarzenegger could not have been further from the character in the book. So it's a good book, but it is very different from the movie.
Yeah,
so.
I need to go back and read the Bachman books. I just need to reread a lot of old Stephen King stuff, because God, I love his old stuff.
You should do The Long Walk first, because apparently they're turning that into a movie.
You know what? I remember that one really vividly, and I don't remember The Running Man quite as vividly. I don't know why, but I remember The Long Walk super, super well.
Yeah, man. I hope they get the end of that right when he just starts running. Like I want that to be the end of it. But anyway, so yeah, we've talked about Running Man. We briefly touched on, Demolition Man and Total Recall. God, I love Demolition Man.
God, fucking 80s movie. We gotta pick something that's not an 80s movie.
Real quick, to be fair, Demolition Man, not 1980s. Neither is Total Recall.
Well,
Total
not
Recall
an action movie, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah. Total Recall 1991, Demolition Man, I'm gonna guess and say 1996 or 95, but we can look up that later. Anyway, so Zach, what are you doing? What did you pick?
Well, Josh, I was skimming through the IMDb's, trying to find a movie I hadn't seen, or I hadn't seen like all of, or that I just don't remember. I wanted something kind of like new to me, or as new as I can make it. And there was a lot.
That's always a good thing to do.
It was kind of hard to find with Arnold's repertoire, because I've seen most of his movies, especially his best ones. But there's one movie, Josh. There's one movie that I have not seen.
Please don't tell me you picked Eraser. I hate that movie.
No. I think I watched that one. I didn't like it either. No, what I picked, Josh, is Junior.
You've never seen Junior?
Never. I've seen one short, 3-minute clip on TV years ago, and it was one that really stuck with me, and it's the only thing I know about the movie. And it's fucking bizarre. We're gonna watch Junior.
All right, I guess we're doing Junior next. That's going to be the next episode.
But hey, that gives you stuff to work with. You get Danny DeVito, Emma Thompson.
You know what I'm going to do? I should take Emma Thompson and make you watch a rom-com. We're going to do it. Oh, dude, we're going to watch fucking, what is it? What's the movie she was in? It's like not Rules of Engagement. It's like Age of Enlightenment or something. I don't know. But...
So yeah, watching Junior.
Zach's gonna make me watch Junior. I'm gonna make him watch really uncomfortable European romance films.
And we'll have nothing to say. They're like, yeah, that's European, all right. But yeah.
All right. So Zach, before we call this here, I briefly recall you wanting to suck Cobra Kai's dick.
Oh man, speaking of 80s, holy shit. Okay. Karate Kid movies, I'm sure you've probably seen all of them, just like I have.
Wax on, wax off. Yes.
Exactly. You know what? I even liked the Lil Will Smith's Karate Kid, even though he's doing kung fu. I even liked that movie.
Never saw that one.
It was not bad. It was not a bad movie. But yeah, so I love the Karate Kid movies. Love the next Karate Kid with who played the girl in the next Karate Kid.
Oh fuck.
Off the top, anyway, while you're looking that up, because I don't want to. But yeah, so what Cobra Kai is, it is a...
Yeah, Hilary Swank.
Hilary Swank, thank you. So I love all of those movies.
That movie came out a day before my birthday in 1994. Anyway, continue.
Interesting.
Not really, but yeah.
I found it interesting. Shut up. So what Cobra Kai is it takes place current day, however many decades after the events of the first Karate Kid, between Daniel LaRusso and, oh my god, I can't remember his rival in that movie's name, the character name off the top of my head. He's even one of the main characters I can't remember. Please look it up for me, Josh.
Just keep talking about the show.
So anyway, what it is it's like a modern telling of a continuation of the original Karate Kid story and everything. So it's Daniel LaRusso, the
Johnny Lawrence.
Thank you, Johnny Lawrence. Daniel LaRusso, he's super fucking, like, he's successful, has himself, like, a beautiful family and everything. He's rich, owns all these car lots and everything. He uses, and, like, he's still kind of riding those glory days of winning the karate national championship in, like, fucking Jersey. Because I think that's where this show takes place. And
there's not a lot to do in Jersey other than to relive a karate tournament you won 30 years ago.
And, like, his rival from the first movie, Johnny Lawrence, Johnny Lawrence, he's kind of just like this fucking failure bum, and, like, he still fucking had, I guess, PTSD flashbacks of getting fucking rocked in the face by the crane kick in fucking 84 or whatever. So he's just like kind of like a loser, drives an old Trans Am, fucking still listens to cassettes and everything. And what it is it's more focused on him and bringing back the old the old Cobra Kai dojo that he was a part of back in the 80s when, his dojo went up against, LaRusso's and, like, LaRusso and Mr. Miyagi. So, and it's a show that, like, you would expect to be like, all right, that's okay. No, the show is so fucking good. I'd have to look up the Rotten Tomatoes score, but I want to say it had something like 100% at one point on Rotten Tomatoes. And to make...
It's 100 right now.
Is it 100?
41 votes.
Fucking so good, dude. I can't say enough good things about Cobra Kai.
Average audience score is 95.
Yeah, it's great. So yeah, the only kicker about this show is that it's a YouTube Red original, and it has no business being on YouTube Red because, like, what other YouTube, like, I don't know of any other shows professionally done like this. I mean, yeah, high production value with the YouTubers like the Scare PewDiePie shit and whatever the fuck Jake Paul does, stuff like that, but I don't know of any. I think the Game Grumps did like a show, but this is the first one that feels like, it doesn't feel like it should be on YouTube Red. This feels like something like a Hulu original or maybe a Netflix original if you're being generous. But man, like, anyone who ever watched The Karate Kid, even just the first one, and enjoyed it, like, really should watch Cobra Kai. Even if you just do the fucking 1 week trial of YouTube Red, or whatever they're calling it these days, whatever their paid subscription service is, and just binge this, and then just book out of there after you watch it. It's fucking worth. You can actually watch the first 2 episodes free on there, I think, to try and hook. They give you that first taste for free, But
I've had YouTube Red for years. I never bothered watching it.
I mean, even if you just watch Cobra Kai, then it'll be worth it. And it's like he's like Lawrence is like he finds just like this poor kid who he's just getting his ass beat in a parking lot, and he's like recruits him to be the first and for a while only member of Cobra Kai, and he's just teaching this really nice kid these ruthless ass tactics for karate, like no mercy, strike first, the fucking 3 however many rules of Cobra Kai. And it's just like, you just watch this kid get progressively more of an asshole. It's just the way the training montages are great. He's like, all right, your arms are strong, right? But we need to work on your leg strength. So he ties his fucking arms behind his back and just kicks him into a fucking swimming pool to build up leg strength. It's shit like that. The dude is such a dirtbag. It's so fucking funny.
So it's literally the opposite of the Karate Kid.
Yes, it is the opposite of and like the way the show ends. And I'm so excited for season 2. Like, I don't want to give it away because I want people to watch it, but like, you don't expect the ending that it gives you, and you're okay with that because you're just like fucking ready for the next one. Like,
All right.
It's so fucking good. I can't say it good enough. Probably the best. It's probably the best like new show I watched last year.
Well,
best season.
I'm
of
always
TV.
looking for new stuff to watch because I mean,
Yeah, like if
at
you
this point we went through all of Brooklyn Nine-Nine. We're caught up on that.
like
and-
if you're not hooked after 2 episodes, I don't know what to tell you. You're not a real human being. You're not an 80s kid.
You're not a real '80s fan.
You're not a real 80s fan. But yeah, and there's so many like
Well-
little callbacks to the original movies and everything. It's great.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
All right. I'm gonna have to check that out, and maybe you guys should check it out too, along with The Running Man.
Please.
But I think for now we're gonna end this one here.
All right.
All right. So we will see you guys in the next episode when we watch Junior, starring Arnold Schwarzenegger.
I'm looking
Emma
forward to
Thompson.
it. It's going to be a fucking train wreck.
Yeah, that's what you can say about this whole podcast. It's a fucking train wreck. All right, cut it.
Later.